Phoenix here. Had to take some time to gather my thoughts and, of course, let the emotions, rather keep the emotions under control. Humiliated, embarrassed, disgusted, every sense, every single negative word that you can imagine. I've never experienced anything like that. There's a manner in which to lose, and what happened yesterday is completely unacceptable. I'm not even angry, I'm not even hurt. To be honest with you guys, 2 years ago, it hurt even more. Because 2 years ago, there was a team that deserved to come away with the trophy. Yesterday, we didn't deserve anything. At a point where you begin questioning everything. I rewatched the game in its entirety, which is, 2 years ago, I still haven't watched that Champions League final again. I had to rewatch it just to confirm what I had seen. And from the very first second, Inter were second best. To everything. To every single thing. I don't understand how a team can approach a game like that. I can't believe it. And we'll start, of course, by fully congratulating Paris Saint-Germain. They are an absolutely fantastic team. And Luis Enrique put on a tactical masterclass. I think Inzaghi got completely outplayed and dominated. If you see the players, how they played, the positions that they occupied, they played about 6-7 different formations within the first half, whereas we were stuck to the same old 3-5-2 with no willingness to adapt whatsoever. So we'll start with that. What I will not accept, however, what I will not tolerate is this idea that this is some underdog story from PSG. It couldn't be further from the truth. This is a club that, sure, lost their greatest ever player. But this is a club who spent 70 million on an attacker. That attacker flopped. They spent another 80 million on another attacker. That attacker flopped. Talking, of course, about Colomani, Gonzalo Ramos. Then they have the luxury to then spend another 70 million, another 50 million. They've spent very wisely after those flops. Massive congratulations to the sporting director, Lucas Ocampos. Incredible. But this isn't some youth project that they got players from their academy and they transform them and they develop them. They have bought the best players, the best young players in the world, though, obviously, as much as they could realistically get. And it's very, of course, very tough to compete with that. But alas, what I will not accept, however, is also the over-exaggeration, which is from certain people. I'm curious to see where I will rank this PSG team in amongst the greatest Champions League teams to ever exist. But make no mistake about it, Inter made them look significantly better than they actually are. And that's what upsets me. That's what angers me. Because there's a manner in which you lose. And like I said, you make life significantly easier for the opposition, which is something they don't need. If they're going to earn their goals, or if they're going to score the goals, let them earn them. Let them completely destroy you. They did on a couple of those occasions, but in reality, Inter made it so easy. We'll begin by... Look at this idiot in here. We'll begin by, of course, starting with DeMarco. What I seen yesterday, I've always told you he's overrated. What he done for the first goal, quite simply unforgivable. 7 yards behind everybody else, behind the entire defensive line, and he stayed there. He stayed there for 5 seconds at least. And then, again, Second goal. What kind of defending is that? Come on, man. Same exact thing against Bayern Munich. And same exact thing when Harry Kane scored. Same thing yesterday for Douay. How many times someone had the ball and gave it to a PSG player, I'll never know. The midfield, I knew we were gonna get outmatched. You know, I told you guys we're gonna get outmatched in midfield, and we're gonna get outmatched in the Hakimi DeMarco duel. I wasn't expecting that level of domination, but that's what it was. Barella again did not turn up. Çalhanoğlu again did not turn up. McDonald's, yeah, I mean at this point, you know, the fact that he continues to start is very much typical of Inzaghi, because we've been in the same situation before. He plays the same players that he believes, irrespective of form, are the best players. And it doesn't work like that. Same thing 2 years ago when Dzeko started ahead of Lukaku, when Lukaku was the man in form. Same kind of thing now. You know, DeMarco had no reason to start, but he started him because that's who he believes is the best. You have to go by form. It's rule number one, and that's the biggest problem with this manager. For every single player to not deliver, to me, it means that the manager did not set the team up correctly. Maybe he had one. Maybe had already his head at Saudi. I don't know, but that's the only explanation. There's no excuse for that. When nobody turns up, the only two players that I thought done okay were Marcus Thuram and Bastoni to some degree. But even then, we're talking about just the best in and amongst a pile of complete and utter garbage. I've seen Barcelona fans comment, "Oh, we were robbed of an all-time Champions League final." What exactly do you think was going to happen? If we scored 7 goals against you, what do you think was going to happen? Every game is different, sure, but what do you think was going to happen? Absolute cringe, lords. People will, rightfully so, attack Inter because we were humiliated on the grandest stage of them all. And as a result, heads have to go. I've identified 10 players plus the manager that now have to leave. It's the end of the cycle. You cannot continue now. You have to start over completely from scratch. He has to go. 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 And he has to go. To not even give a single minute to the man that got us here and bring on Aslani, to bring on 4 defenders, one was forced, but to bring on 4 defenders when we were 2-0 down, and then eventually 3 and 4, shows me what an absolute bona fide loser of a manager he is. I've always told you, in life, you will be remembered by what you win. Most of you can't relate because the closest you ever got to winning is in an egg and spoon race, and even then you couldn't. You couldn't get over the line. So I'm sure most of you guys could relate to Winter yesterday. Not me. Not me. And that's what makes it not hurt, because like I said, I was more pissed off 2 years ago, more angry 2 years ago, but disappointed this time around. That's the correct word. Disappointed. But that means heads have to roll. And like I said, we can bring up how much money they have spent, how little we have spent. But at the end of the day, it's 11 men versus 11 men. The worst case, we're 3-0 down, we're 4-0 down, and they're all laying us. All laying us. Okay? Let me tell you. One thing is for certain. If I'm on that pitch, they can run rings around me. They can not make me get past, do whatever the hell they want. But at 4-0, when they start doing Ole, I'll kick them next to Luis Enrique, the players. The very least you can do. So much respect that these losers shown to that team. A bunch of children playing around. I'll kick them, and then we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if then they start Oleing. We'll see if Gvara and Douay want to do their nutmegs and that little shit bar color that came on. Yeah. The very least you can do. Not even that. Not even that. Sickening. But we are in there. And as always, we will bounce back. People in here came in my streams as always yesterday, laughing, mocking, ridiculing. Get these idiots in there on that chat box as I speak, typing shit, you know. That's not a problem. It's how it is. It's how it is. But one thing is for certain. You want to know what it means to be an Inter fan? To have any kind of association with this football club? I seen something yesterday that I've never ever seen. Ashraf Hakimi scores in a Champions League final within the first 5 minutes. He doesn't celebrate his goal. He played for just 1 year at Inter, and he still didn't celebrate his goal. That's what Inter is. That's what Inter means. Congratulations, PSG. You're champions of Europe. But in 2 weeks' time, the World Championship begins. And last I checked, champions of the world is better than champions of Europe. In 2 weeks' time, we'll go to America. In 2 weeks' time, I don't want to see Inzaghi leading. I don't even know who it will be. Quite frankly, as long as it's not Inzaghi leading us, I don't care. The players, direct message to you. You have a you have a responsibility now. You're gonna bring that World Championship home. Because after the season we've had of a colossal and utter failure, there's only one trophy left now. The season isn't done. You bring that World Championship home. As for my algorithm, that's not the way I wanted to finish the season. I looked and rewatched the game. I seen the mistakes I made in my analysis. Was it emotions? Was it a bias? I don't think so. Even though they're better than us, they're not 5-0 better than us. But there's stuff that happened that I didn't anticipate. As a result, we'll go back to the drawing board. I said before the game yesterday, who knows? Maybe by the end, the spoiler will ride off in the sunset. But that's the beautiful part of the sport. That even someone like me still has room to grow. And I promise I'll do everything I can to get even stronger, even better, ahead of the next season. To those who genuinely watch to improve their football knowledge, who shown much love and support yesterday in the worst day of my life, I thank you. To the rest of you, like I've told you yesterday, like I've told you a week ago, I don't like you. I don't respect you. And you have now made it very clear how this relationship will go from this point onwards. You want to show no respect whatsoever towards my club? That is fine by me. I will show absolutely no respect towards yours. In 2 weeks' time, we'll go again for the Club World Cup. Over the next 2 weeks, we'll continue recapping, continue handing out the awards. Because at the end of the day, I'm the only person that am in a position to be able to do so. Because most of you, you don't even watch the football matches. You can't even withstand and last a 90-minute football match. You watch football on TikTok, you can't come and talk football with me. You stay in your lane and you sit there and you watch when a football expert talks to you.